T.B.Photo X1.5 TFX, and welcome back to another video. Well, as you apparently can see, I'm back home again. My time in Uppsala is unfortunately at an end, working, but now the school year has started again, so I'm back as a student anyway. But this video is going to be titled the Mamiya G.A.S Nutter, which implies it's me. But anyway, sometimes you have to sell off a few toys in order to get what you really want to use. As I've started to notice, some of my most popular videos are actually the ones when I'm doing, about the Mamiya my Mamiya cameras, like the RB67 and the 645 Pro. Yeah, they're also great cameras in their own right, but one can always upgrade, because I know that one of my most popular videos to date is actually the upgrade or sidegrade Mamiya RB67. So actually, I think I've side-graded more or less, because I still have the RB67 since it's the first edition and so on, and it has some really brilliant glass for it. So that camera I still got. I have it in its briefcase, and it is a beautiful camera, but it needs a younger one to be able to do what it should do. So here we go, with no more, without wasting any more time. Here is something special. How do you like those apples? Yeah, I managed to get my hands on a Pro 2, a RZ67 Pro 2. I mean, this is the bee's knees when it comes to medium format cameras. This is the ultimate. I have a nickname for this. This is the Hasselblad 503CW Challenger. I mean, the Hasselblad 503 system, and thereby the CW, was one of the last analog Hasselblads that they ever put out in the 500 series. This one came out in 1995 and was a huge challenger for that camera system. Well, to give you a little bit of a brief history of the RZ system, Mamiya still made the RB, I think it was the Pro S, yeah, but in 1982 they came out with the RZ67 Pro, and it came out in 1982. And in 82, to give you some frame of reference, two of the blockbuster movies that came out in 1982 were Blade Runner and E.T. Yeah, Steven Spielberg's E.T. and Blade Runner with Harrison Ford. But anyway, this then, the Pro 2, was introduced in 1995. So what movies for frame of reference came out in 1995? Well, Pierce Brosnan did his debut as James Bond in GoldenEye, and Al Pacino and, Heat came out, which is also a real classic movie. I really recommend it. Yeah, and also, why did I spring for the RZ67 Pro 2? Well, it has a few features that I think really tips the scale on which one of the RZ cameras you should spring for. First of all, it has the in-between settings in the shutter speed, because you have, the in-between. You can go half f-stop increments, so that's a little bit of a nifty feature. So yeah, but also more importantly for me, who has the RB67 and RB glass previously, this camera also has, in the shutter speed ring, you can put it into what is known as the RBL setting. And the RBL setting is so that you can use RB glass on this RC model. So that's a really great little thing to have. I currently have the digital back, not digital back, excuse me. I have the film back now loaded with Lomo 100 ISO film as a test roll for this camera. And actually, here's the thing. I'm gonna tell you what I paid for it later, but what I would like to tell you is that I didn't just get this camera in the package that I got. No, one moment please. I got the camera, and currently it has the 50mm lens on it, and it's an f4.5. So I got the camera. I also got it with a 127mm lens. I do already have a RB version of this lens, but hey, I got it in the package, so I'm not complaining. It's a beautiful lens. What I also got was this beauty, which is the 250mm f4.5. So I got 3 lenses with this camera in this package deal that I managed to snag, really. I think this was the steal of the century, because this is not it. I also got this, you know, these bellows, so you know, this is like for, instead of having a, what is it called now? You all know what this is. You know, I'm not English by native. My native language is Swedish, so you have to excuse me, but these glare shield, I call it sometimes, but you know what it is. I can't be bothered to, you know, try to get it up in my head right now what it is. So yeah, I got that system with, you know, some covers and some rings, so I can put these bellows on these lenses. So yeah, some bits and odds and ends like so, but this is actually not. There was one more thing in this system that I thought, you know, tipped the scale for me, that this, I couldn't have gotten all of this for the price I got it at, because I also got this, the RZ67 Auto Exposure Prism Finder. I know there are 2 different versions, one where you have the dual controls on top of it, and this one that has a staggered pot, so to speak. You have exposure compensation, and you have shutter speeds and so on. So you can put this on auto exposure, so you can make this into an aperture priority camera. So how should I put this so it doesn't go in the floor? See here, this is what I managed to snag. And I didn't snag it on eBay, and I didn't snag it on Tradera. This was actually another Swedish website called Blocket. Blocket is kind of this, you know, buy and sell website for Sweden and I think some other Scandinavian countries. But anyway, I would just, before I continue, I would like to do some shout outs to some other YouTubers. If you want to know more about this camera system and what it really can do, I would really recommend you to check out these YouTubers. I have some of them written up here on my cheat sheet. And they are brilliant in their own rights. So, first of all, if you want to see someone who has taken this type of camera, the RC67 Pro 2, that's going to be hard to really remember which is which. But anyway, if you want someone who has turned this into a Frankenstein of a camera, it's Japan, Tokyo-based fashion photographer Julio Ruozaki. I mean, this guy is brilliant, and I think he's just recently started to do vlogging. He did some, uploads before, but then he started to do a little bit of a vlog type. I mean, he's no Casey Neistat, but really check him out. Julio Ruozaki, fashion photographer from Tokyo, Japan. I mean, that guy, really check him out. He also I think commented on my video upgrade or side grade, where he recommended this camera just because it is also compatible with digital backs. If you get another back plate for it, you can use this one with digital backs. So I'm set now. This camera can, I can use this for decades to come, at least in my mind, because this is a beautiful piece of engineering. So anyway, Julio Iwasaki is the first one. The second one is a guy who is really great for street photography. He is very into film, different type of film stocks, and really does really great both his own work, and now he is also starting to do interviews with other famous YouTube photographers, and it's none other than Dan Bullman. I mean, Dan did a fantastic video when he did a little bit of an introduction to the RZ67 Pro 2. So yeah, check him out. Brilliant guy, and does some really interesting reviews and opinions and so on different film stocks and different camera models and so on, classic camera models and so on. So really check him out if you want to know more about the RZ67. And then we have another brilliant photographer who does a little bit of portraits and reviews, and I think he loads his own film and so on. It's Matt Day. Matt is not to be confused with Matt Granger, who is Australian. Now, this guy, Matt Day, he is a really interesting character. He's really great at explaining photography gear and his own opinions on them and why. So really check him out as well, Matt Day. You won't be disappointed in the least. Anyway, then we have a guy who is a retired bloke, actually. This guy is an Englishman who now lives in the south of France, and when asked in a video about his favorite camera, he talked about that when he was a product photographer, he used first of all Hasselblads, but he changed his Hasselblads to Mamiya. I think he had the Pro 1 version, not the Pro 2. But anyway, that is, and he is a Canon user nowadays. He mostly uses Canon, and he has an amazing collection of vintage cameras as well. And I kind of, really like his philosophy that cameras, they're investments. So it is Philip McCordle. So Philip McCordle. So it's spelled. I think it's spelled McCordall. And that guy, really great. I don't think he uploads that continuously, but what he has on his channel is really worth your time. You won't get disappointed in the least. So those guys I really would recommend for both photography in general, but also a little bit about the Mamiya RZ system. And also for FYI, if you want to know about another famous photographer that uses the RZ camera presently, in the present day, it is London-based photographer John Rankin Waddell, but he usually just goes by Rankin. So if you ever see it, just search him on YouTube or just Google search him, John Rankin or Rankin Photography. He is amazing, and he has done some really interesting portraits on a lot of celebrities and so on. It's basically, it's an amazing photographer. So John Rankin or just Rankin, just take a look at him. You won't get disappointed. But anyway, what did I pay for all of this? All of this. 3 lenses, bellows, the camera, back, prism finder, all of it. I got this entire kit for 7,500 Swedish kroner, which in euros is total. I got it for 742 euros, or $886 or 688 British pounds. And I used Forex to do the currency conversions from Swedish kroner. But anyway, I said that this video is going to be titled The Mamiya G.A.S. Nutter. That's because this is not the only new camera I gotten that is a Mamiya. Because I thought that I just found this camera on, this was Tradera this time. But when I found this camera and I knew that the auction was just about to finish and no other people had bid on it, I just put in a bid like this. It was a complete, impulse that I thought that if I'm gonna have this camera, why not give it a companion so I can use, it becomes much more usable and I can justify getting a digital back in the future. Because I managed to snag this beauty. It's none other than the Mamiya 645 AFD. I mean, this camera, Mamiya doesn't really exist anymore. They do, but they're existing through Phase 1 who bought Mamiya a couple of years ago. But this camera is still quite usable. It's digital back compatible. It has, all the features. The only feature I thought is a little bit silly that they got rid of is that you can't take off the prism finder on this one. It's fixed permanently, so you can't have any waist level finder on this version. But still, the reason I got this is because both of these cameras are compatible with digital backs. So if I might in the future get something like a Mamiya DZ back, or whatever it was called, ZD, I can't really remember the model name. Put a link in put a comment in the comment section below if you have any information of it. But anyway, I see on the time I have to speed things up a little bit. But anyway, this one can actually use my 645 Pro lenses. Even though this can use autofocus lenses, it can use the manual focus stuff as well apparently, but then you need to use stop-down metering. It can't really stop down the aperture by itself, so you have to do that manually. Fortunately enough, you can do that on all the 645 manual focus lenses, so that's a big plus. And it's also compatible with digital backs just like this one, so both of them can use the same back. I can just switch back and forth. But that's a future project. Anyway, this one came out in 2001, and if you want some movie references of other great movies that came out in 2001, one was Donnie Darko, and the other one was the Fast and the Furious, when it actually was about car racing. But anyway, I think that's all for me for now. And the price paid for this one was 4,750 Swedish kroner, which is 470 euros, $561, or 436 pounds. And I used Forex for that conversion as well. But anyway, this is Tobias Bergström from T.B.Photo X1.5 to FX, and I'd like to see you guys in the next video. And as always, please like, share, comment, and subscribe, as you're supposed to say in this YouTube malarkey. And I'll see you in the next one. So, take care from now on. Bye.